afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young. We are now officially into spring in Easton. What a beautiful couple of days it's been. I did my first spring show last night at Area 58 in Carver. And tonight, I have an interview of a guest who's a little different. He's a figure of some kind of creation. We'll talk about that. He's known as Cardiff Electric. He's named after a company, I guess. We'll talk all about that, find out his history. As you can see, he looks a little different than most of the guests I've had, both in Zoom and in person. But of course, before we get to him, got to read these incredible underwriters, and then we will commence per usual. Got some new ones. We got Botas Imports in Norwell. They're a new one. We got John's Greenhouses and Florist Shop in Brockton. We got Fadiologist 101 Barber Shop in Brockton. We got Auto Town Auto Glass and Auto Body in Abington. We got Lynch's Towing Auto Cycle and Truck Center in Brockton. One number for towing, one number for projects. Always looking for new scrap metal, wheels, anything, to do with transportation. My pal Lynchy over there can handle in Brockton. We got 111 Tattoo Collective in Brockton at their new location on Torrey Street. We got One Good Credit in Brockton. We got A1's Tire and Auto Center in Brockton, always in search of new service writers in tax. And if you don't know how to do it, send someone by that does. We got Hometown Furnishings in Taunton. They're a new one. We got Hometowns Tacos Locals in Taunton. They're also a new one. We got Eli's Auto Repair in Taunton. We got Armor Sports in Taunton. We got Kingston Auto Body in Kingston. We got the Gunrunner LLC, your Second Amendment Freedom store in Middleborough. We got Doggy Boutique, all beat professional grooming for dogs and cats, run by my great next door neighbor, Debbie Siddell in Brockton. We got Grant's Rental in Bridgewater. We got DNS Auto Works and Collision Specialists in Abington. We got RW Carpet and Flooring in Norton, covering floors for 50 years. We got Easton Fitness right in the Village Shops in Northeastern. And we got Joe's Diner in Taunton. I want to thank all you guys very much. So today we have Cardiff Electric. He's the most unusual, visually speaking, the most unusual Topic Time guest I ever had, either by Zoom or in person, as you can see. And he's got his own podcast. And so we're going to talk to him today. So Cardiff Electric, thank you for being on my show today. We had a few little technical difficulties, but I think they're ironed out. Can you speak and make sure I can hear you? Me? Oh, I hear you perfectly now. Good. Okay, that's great. Okay,
and just for the record, Cardiff Electric, the most famous podcaster in the world today. That's my full title.
Okay, well, okay. Well, I'm glad you're benevolent enough to give the one who's trying to at least not. I know I'll never catch you, but at least I'm working my way as far as I can get.
Well, not with that attitude.
No, you're right.
You gotta go get them, Harrison.
Oh, okay. I'll go get them. You're right. So be competitive is what you're saying, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, like I said, what I want to do is I want to kind of unravel the mystery of your situation. In addition to knowing that you're the best podcaster in the universe today,
most famous,
right? And the most famous, right? So tell me about where did you? Boy, this is going to be different. This is the most unusual interview I ever did, and I never think when I think I've had the most unusual interview in a previous occasion, there's something like this happens. So but I'm up for the challenge. Tell me about where Cardiff Electric originated. Where, as much as you can tell me without giving away too much. I get that there are things about you don't want to reveal. If there aren't, that's a problem. Tell me everything. Go ahead.
Oh, no, sure. So I started off just with an audio podcast.
Okay.
I was have you ever heard of Stuttering John Melendez from the Howard Stern Show?
Yes, I have.
I was the leader of his, we'll call it fan club. We were called the SJ Army.
Okay.
And I started a podcast to honor him and to defend him against haters and trolls. And then some people took audio of me, cut it up, made it sound like I was against him, and then Stuttering John blocked me.
Wow.
Yeah, it was terrible. That was over 2 years ago. And you know what, Harrison Young? Just today on my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I was unblocked by Stuttering John. So this is a big day to get me. Like, I'm in a good mood today.
I always say everything happens for a reason. And sure enough, we're making a show right now.
Yes.
So I've always been a fan of Stuttering John. I've always been a fan of Howard Stern. I mean, I'm not a serious subscriber, but I did used to listen to him back in the 90s when he was on regular radio. In our area, it was WBCN, which now is a sports talk station. But yeah, I mean, all his cast of characters were great. and
Mhm,
I
mhm,
assume they still are. Like I said, I haven't subscribed to Sirius Radio, but when
mhm,
I was listening to a show, I always used to watch it on E on what they used to simulcast it at night,
mhm.
or you know what I mean, right?
The E
On
Show, yeah.
the
Yep.
E show, right?
Mhm, mhm.
Well, so obviously, Stuttering John realizes that you're in his corner, you have his back, and it's
Now,
amazing.
yes. Now he realizes. It took 2 years, though. So
Okay,
I started a campaign online, my podcast was dedicated to it, and then I discovered, I wanted to do a YouTube show as well,
okay,
but because of my career, I couldn't actually be on camera, so
okay,
that's why I adopted the potato filter, to
okay.
run my YouTube show.
Oh,
Mhm,
okay. Interesting. Okay.
mhm.
All right. So have you ever been on on their show too, on Howard Stern show?
I once.
Okay.
Yeah, once.
Well, what was that like? How long ago was that, first of all?
Oh, maybe 2005?
Okay.
A long, long time ago. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it doesn't seem that long ago. I
I was
mean,
just a caller though.
yeah, I see what you mean.
Mhm.
Yeah, I actually called up once. I talked to Baba Booey for about 2 seconds,
Baba
and then
Booey.
he hung up on me.
I am Dr. Remulak.
Do they still have the same cast of characters? They still have Robin? Do they still have Baba
Mhm.
Booey? Do they still have Stuttering
Yep.
John?
No, Stuttering John's gone. The show stinks now, by the way, just so you're not missing anything now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not, listen, I never take shots at anybody on my show, but if you say, I'm just going
Mhm.
to, but everybody's entitled to express his or her opinion when they're on it, as far as I'm concerned. And that's
There's rumors of me replacing the Howard Stern show at Sirius. Just rumors though.
okay. Well,
Mhm.
well, I hope it happens. I mean, if it does,
Mhm.
then at least I'll always be able to say you were on my show first.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I'll have
Uh,
you on.
what's that?
Then
Oh
I'll
yeah, I'd
have
love
you
to
on.
be on.
Mhm.
I'm
Mhm.
I'm not, I love doing my show, but I could be a guest on so many other shows. But I've noticed
Mhm.
lately that a lot of the podcasters in the area, after that WATP profile of me, definitely want to hook up with me and be on my
Mhm.
show, and it's a wonderful feeling, and it's certainly not something I even would have figured like even a few months ago until I saw that WATP special. That was great. Are you friends with any of those folks in Rochester?
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay, that's a
Yes.
good. Well, tell me how are you how are you associated with Dr. Chipperson? How did that come to be?
Oh, Dr. Steve?
Yeah, Dr. Steve.
Yeah, so, he's a big fan of mine, big
Okay,
fan of mine. Um, Kinda needy, actually. He flies me out, to his place, maybe once a month,
okay,
just makes me perform for him, like, just do jokes and make him laugh, like, um
okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
We
we
have
had
a
a.
strange relationship, but we're very good friends,
Well,
yes.
there's nothing wrong with this strange relationship. Sometimes a strange relationship is better than a normal one.
Mhm. But he makes me stay in the garage.
Okay, well, as long as it's
Mhm,
heated or is needed. Some
mhm.
garages can be very comfortable if they have a loft.
Yeah,
I,
that's true,
I
that's
actually did
true.
a back in 2012. I actually did a show from a garage in Marblehead, Massachusetts, which is a very upscale neighborhood on the North Shore of Boston.
Mhm,
I
mhm,
interviewed a young girl who was a musician and her band,
mhm,
and the family her family was wonderful. They gave me pizza. They set up. The garage, you wouldn't even know it was a garage. You would have thought it was a regular studio because it really
mhm.
was a sound studio. And
Wow,
it was a great
wow.
time with them. I had a wonderful time going up there. But that was when I used to take topic time on the road. Now
Oh,
I pretty much just do it here, at a
in
TV
the
at the TV
studio.
stations.
More professional.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's
Mhm,
not even that. It's just I'm only a talent. I'm not a tech. In those days, I had to be a tech too, and I had to set
mm.
up the equipment and do all that stuff. And I don't like doing that. I suck at that, to be honest.
Oh, I see.
So, but it was a good part of my learning experience to,
Mhm,
to figure out how that worked though,
mm,
before I got more established over the years and became what I
mhm,
am now, which is
mhm,
somebody working my way towards better things and, enjoying the ride as I go, because I never knew at the beginning that I'd even get this far, even in the first few years. So I
mhm.
can't believe I've done the show with so many stations for so many years. But tell me about where your podcast originates from, as much as if it's okay.
Well, I have a few
Okay.
shows. So I have the Cardiff Electric show that I do on YouTube.
Okay.
That, topics vary, from show to show. I don't have a set schedule. Just when I have a need, to broadcast, I broadcast.
Okay.
But I have a show that I do, every Monday night on YouTube,
Just
Subreddit
disappeared.
Surfing with Vinny and Cardiff, Mondays at 8 on YouTube. That's on the Subreddit Surfing YouTube channel.
Okay.
And, so with the great Vinny Paulino. Have you heard of Vinny Paulino?
Yes.
Yes, yes, he's great. So I do a show with him, and it's an interview show. I was inspired by you
Thank
to
you.
interview people. So we have a different guest. Hopefully, we have a different guest every week from the different subreddit. So like this past week, um, we you're on public access.
Yes.
Okay, so this past week we interviewed people who uh, have relations with dolls
Okay.
and
Uh,
big
ca-
silicone dolls,
well, when you say, I mean, just have them as toys or a little bit more involved in that.
adult relations.
Okay.
Yes,
Well, I
it's
mean, are they life-size dolls or are
yes,
they small? Oh, okay.
yeah, life size. So
Okay.
I don't know what I can say on public access. So I'm trying to
Well, I sort of
parse
get the
my
gist
words.
of it. I mean, people, it's funny you should say that. I'm almost tempted to try that myself. My love life isn't that great either. So
Oh, so our guest is actually selling his doll. If you would be interested, I
no,
could
I'm not. I'm
connect you.
kidding. I'm not
Oh,
that desperate yet.
oh,
But
okay.
But
Well,
I'll
if you
keep it
do,
in
let me
mind.
know. I have an in. I can get you a good deal on a slightly used doll.
Okay, I'll consider it. I'll think about it.
Yes. But
Okay,
then yeah, like I said, because of my so I do that show every Monday at 8. It's a great show. We have lots of great guests. But because of my career as a background actor,
okay,
I cannot appear on camera with my real face because the problem the problem is when you're a background actor, you have to the art is to not be noticed but to be there,
okay.
right? So if my face became too famous, I would distract from the main
From
actors,
your actual
right?
show.
So I'm just there. I'm on set to support the art, to support the main actors. So I do not want to distract from them. So obviously, I have to disguise myself as a potato to avoid that. Now, do you like
Okay,
fun facts, Harrison Young?
love them.
So recently, my most recent project I was on, a film called Wolves.
Okay,
We were shooting mainly in New York City.
okay.
I think I told you that George Clooney, Brad Pitt are the stars of this film.
Somebody told me that. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So you know how have you ever been on a film set?
Yes, I've been in two major films, and I've been on many
Oh,
indie film sets as well.
oh, good. So you know when they have they're doing a film set and they're shooting, they have a code name for the film.
I don't know about the code name, but I do
Yeah,
know.
so generally there'll be signs around in the area where they're shooting. You know, it's Star Wars is shooting here, but they won't call it Star Wars. They'll call it Space Monkeys. It's just something just so people don't know what's actually shooting there. So they have a code name for the film,
Okay. Well,
right?
Star
So
Wars was 46 years ago. You talk?
yeah.
Are they redoing it? Are
No,
they
no, no,
doing?
no. I'm just using that as an
Oh, I see
example.
what you mean.
Yes,
Okay,
I'm painting a picture.
I see what you mean.
So
Well,
on the
yep,
film Wolves,
yep.
the direct George Clooney. Now I did not speak directly to George. As a background actor, it's important that I don't interact with the stars.
Right. That I
I
do
was
know from experience. I had the same
yes,
deal with Leonardo DiCaprio and Shutter Island in
yes,
2008.
yes. It's important for the art to not interact with them. But the director and George Clooney's assistant, I was able to speak to because obviously I have to speak to the director to get uh, my motivation for the
Yep.
scene. But they, I believe, are both very big fans of your show because you know what the code name for the film Wolves was?
Topic time.
It was.
Sweet.
So all over New York City, people were on the topic time set, what they called it. But when it actually goes into production, it will be titled Wolves. But they
That's
are all
fine.
big fans of you. I think I remember one afternoon, Brad, George, and the director, John Watts, they were watching your show.
You're talking about Brad Pitt and George Clooney. We're watching Topic Time.
Hmm.
Wow.
Hmm.
Woo. Oh, boy. Well, wait till the people in the local area hear that, and not to mention me.
Congratulations.
That's sweet. I remember you mentioned that.
Mhm.
Wow. Well,
I
it's
only knew
kind.
George Clooney, but like I said, I heard the director too was a big fan of yours,
That's sweet. That is so
John
nice to
Watts.
hear.
Hmm.
Well, it's kind of interesting is that when I could tell you a little bit about my experiences on the major film sets, and I think
Please.
you'll get a kick out of this. First of all, 26 years ago yesterday, I was on the set of Amistad. That was my first film, and that was, you may know, was directed by Spielberg.
Mm,
And he
mm,
fired me on set. I played a member of the House of Representatives in 1839,
mhm,
and I
mhm.
went down to Newport, Rhode Island to get suited up on St. Patrick's Day of 1997. and we did a scene at the scene we did was at the State House in Boston on Saturday, March 22nd of 1997. And we had a scene where Anthony Hopkins, who played John Quincy Adams, sort of dozed off in the chambers, and they said, and Spielberg was directing the scene himself. And he said, inquire as to his well-being. And I said, is he okay? And he got mad because he goes, they didn't say it like that in 1897. He called me something. And then I was supposed to do 2 more scenes that following Monday in Newport, but they asked me, and he gave me a really dirty look as we were leaving. Okay. So that was 1997. So I got the experience that some directors should get all their ducks in a row before they, commence, and he didn't. But it's always makes for a funny story. Now, I don't know if he'd like topic time. I don't really care. I thought that was very.
Were you doing topic time back then?
No. I didn't start topic time till August 18th of 2010. This was, in those days, if anyone had told me then I'd be doing the show like this now, I'd say, in what universe would that possibly be possible?
Yeah, if someone told you you'd be talking to a potato today, you might not have believed them.
Well, I would have believed, I might not have believed them up until I looked at your podcast on YouTube to see what you look like. And then I would have believed them. But not that long ago, I wouldn't have believed them. But then in 2008, when you were just talking about DiCaprio, he looked at me on that. It was a whole different role for me as opposed to in 1997 playing a member of the House of Representatives in 1839. And in 2008, I played a mental patient in the film Shutter Island. And DiCaprio looked at me like he thought I was the real deal. And I remember I was talking.
You're a great actor.
Well, no, I know, but I've also almost been a mental patient too. And for real, in my life, I've been almost committed a couple of times. I have Asperger's, I have autism. So the fact that I'm able to do a show like this, and I tell this story all the time when I'm interviewing people, because it's kind of, I think it's something I'd used as an excuse for failure for so many decades until I turned it around. And now it's a totally, upshooting pinnacle to more success for me. And
congratulations.
Thank you very much. And the thing is, I did work with Scorsese too, and he was great. And
Martin Scorsese?
Yeah, he was the director of Shutter Island.
Oh, okay, good.
Well, we did 2 scenes. We did one in the summer and we did one in the winter first, then in the summer. The one in the winter was the one where he and I and 2 other people, there was a scene I was being escorted across the floor of a former mental hospital in the town of, I believe it was Medway, Massachusetts, which is a building which is full of fallen bricks and boarded up windows, but the townspeople save it for an event like this movie film that they did. So there was a scene where I was being led across the floor in handcuffs and foot shackles, and that was directly with Scorsese, and that was fun as ever. Now, you may be familiar with Sarah Silverman, the comedian.
Yes.
So she's my cousin.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, to her, right? I'm just kidding. Obviously, to me too. Well, the thing is, one of the girls, the girl who was playing the nurse in that film, they flew her up from Hollywood, and she worked with Sarah out there. And when she told Scorsese I was Sarah's cousin, he goes, "I see the family resemblance." So that was a compliment. I know she's not one of the ugliest people in our family. No. And I, on the other hand, well, I'm not either. But you know what I'm getting at here. So
is she single?
What's that?
Is she single?
Sarah? I think she's got a boyfriend. And they share this, they have this really, how like celebrities nowadays like to really ham up their personal lives. She says that her and her boyfriend share a toothbrush, which I think is totally disgusting. I wish there were other things they should share that are maybe less disgusting, but that's okay. And that's if she wants to share that with the world, and and make people not want to be near her because
whatever it takes to go viral these days,
Exactly. Viral in more than one way. In this case, a disease, not just.
True. I worked with a Scorsese once, but not Martin.
Oh, there's another one. Who's the other one?
Phil.
Are they brothers, cousins?
No, I don't think they're related.
Well, is he a film director or what does he do?
No, it was at Arby's.
Oh, Arby's?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got the meats.
The fast food restaurant. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd never go to Arby's. I'm a vegan, but all right.
Are you?
I haven't eaten. I eat fake meats every day, but I haven't eaten real meats in 40 years.
Why?
41 years since 1982.
Why?
Because I like being a vegan. I love it. I lost a lot of weight, and I've never felt better. I feel as healthy as a horse right now.
So it's health reasons, not moral reasons or
both.
Ethical reasons.
It's both.
Okay.
It is, because I hate that animals get mistreated. I feel, and by and large, I care more about animals than I do about people. I think people are pretty rotten to the core, but in a lot of cases, not all of them.
But you're okay with vegetables getting mistreated, is what you're saying?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Vegetables, Maybe,
Mhm.
there's another way of looking at it. If you look at karma and everything, you got to figure maybe if a creature came back to Earth as a vegetable and wouldn't have, would have with complete feelings, but unable to move, then
Mhm.
maybe they did something really bad in a previous life. I don't know, but yeah, I got to eat something, right?
You are you sensing the irony here,
Yeah, no, I'm
Harrison Young?
sensing. I love irony. I
Oh,
sense it
okay.
every second.
'Cause I'm a
I never stop
vegetable.
sensing it. Every second of my life, I'm sensing irony in some situation. I mean, it's just
Mm,
it never ends.
good.
And well, so that podcast of yours is going pretty good. How many days a week do you do it?
Just the subreddit surfing, I just do once a week, Mondays.
Okay.
But I do, my show ad hoc, as they say in the business,
Yep.
whenever there's a need. I guest on, WATP. I do segments for that show. I do segments for the Who's Right podcast.
Okay.
I do segments for, uh, uh, lots of shows.
Now,
I'm
were you part of
everywhere.
the Opie and Anthony trio as well, a duo at some
No,
point?
no, no. I tried. They never brought me on, though.
I read some pretty wild stuff about those guys.
Yeah, I was on Opie's show this morning, actually.
Oh, okay. So you were on
Yeah.
there. You were on his
Well, I
show.
now, not because the show's over, but he does his own show now, and I was on his show
Okay, so there's no,
this
it's just
morning.
Opie, not Anthony.
Not Anthony, no.
Okay. Well, sometimes people have to go their own way. I mean,
Mhm.
I've always thought that, I don't know if you're old enough to remember Fernwood Tonight. Remember that it was sort of it was a parody of a TV talk show going back to the
What's it
1970s.
called?
Fernwood Tonight. You know Martin
No.
Mull, the actor?
Oh, the Bull
No, he's not a
from Night
bull.
Court?
You're talking about John Larroquette. You're talking about the guy that plays not John Larroquette. I can't think of his name, but the big
Yeah.
no, Martin Mull is an actor. You ever see the TV show 2.5 Men? He plays Martin. He plays the pharmacist that Charlie's always getting his
Oh,
stuff.
yes, 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 yes,
Okay,
yes.
well, back in there used to be a TV soap opera in the mid 1970s called Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman.
Mhm, mhm.
Okay, and in 1977, when this was the year I graduated high school, I was watching Mary Hartman. It was pretty funny, Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. What
Now,
happened? What?
can I ask you a question? You've
Sure.
said Mary Hartman a few times now.
I
Is
know
there an
because the name of the title of the show was Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. They said it
oh,
twice. That was
is there
why.
is there an R in that name?
Twice, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, four
I
times
just
really. There's an
I
R in
didn't hear
Mary,
an
there's
R.
an R in Hartman. So that's four
Oh,
R's in there, four R's
I just heard
total.
a lot of A's.
Right, and the A's too.
Yeah.
So Martin Mull played a guy named Barth Gimble who visited the small town of Fernwood, Ohio during this soap opera
Mhm.
sequence series or whatever. When Mary Hartman ended, I remember it ended on Friday, July 1st, 1977. And then on Monday, July 4th, Fernwood Tonight took over in the slot. And that was a time, it was a parody of a TV talk show. Martin Mull played the host, his name was Barth Gimble in the show, and he had a co-host named Jerry Hubbard, who was played by Fred Willard, a very comedic actor who just passed
Mhm.
away in the last couple of years.
The
Remember,
Postmaster General.
what's that?
The Postmaster General.
He might have been. I don't know. He played a lot of stuff, but
Mhm.
the thing is, in that particular, I loved that show so much. I thought it was so funny that when I was 18, I wrote a little, in the fall of '77. I wrote a comical parody of that kind of show where I was the co-host
Hmm.
because in that show the co-host was kind of a buffoon and he was always getting needled and and disgraced, not disgraced, but kind of picked. He was getting poked fun at by the host who was Barth Gimble, and
Hmm.
I made myself kind of a comic relief co-host who was kind of a fool and said stupid things during the show, and that was basically what that show was about, and it lasted a couple of years. So I always fantasized that if I was ever actually going to do a TV talk show, I'd either be, a sidekick, somebody's goofy sidekick, or I'd have one. But as it turns out, I'm neither. I'm just the
Yeah.
goofy host without a
You're the
sidekick.
star of the show.
Star of the show, right? So
How you have an insane retention of dates.
yes, I do. It's
How do
not
you do that?
insane. It's from being insane, but it's not insane. It's from having Asperger's and autism. It enables me to. I have an OCD. I've always been fascinated with dates and stuff, so I'm always able to remember them. I've been doing this since I was a kid.
What's your favorite date?
My favorite, well, October 3rd, naturally. That's my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Well, it's not. Today's March 23rd.
Well,
But
I'll for next year, just in case we don't talk.
well, it'll be this year in 6 months. In 6.5 months, I'll be
Oh, true.
64. I can't believe I'm that old. I feel pretty.
64?
Yeah.
Oh, you
I'm
look good.
63 now, and I'm just about 63 and a half. If
You
you
look good.
if you count half birthdays, it'll be April 3rd, which is just in like 10
Mm.
days from now.
Are you a married man?
No, I had a
Oh.
girlfriend 40 years ago. She's she's got grandchildren, which I fortunately had nothing to do with. I'm very happy that never happened. She got married, had a daughter in 1985, and that daughter has 2 kids of her own. We're probably adults now, but having children is something I disdain from. I think I don't think. I mean, people can do it. Sometimes children are great, but I don't think the world would be as screwed up if few people had children. And I'm not putting down anyone that does have children. If they're listening, I think it's great. I hope you raise your kid right, and
I mean, some people have to have children.
Delightful person. What's that?
Some people have to have children, or else we just
or else there'd be nothing
existing.
left. I know the population would fizzle out. I get you. I suppose somebody has to do it, but I'm not one of those people. I'm just not. I just wouldn't be cut out for having kids. That's all. I'm just not.
So what do you do with all your free time from not having a wife or children?
I plan the show basically.
Oh,
the show is basically it's pretty much my entire social life. I'm pretty much a loner. I mean, I'm a lone wolf. I have to admit that. It's not something I'm proud of. It's just a fact. And you have to, and if somebody were to interview me, like you're kind of like, this is sort of like a mutual interview we're doing now. I would have to say, you know, I mean, but the thing is doing my show, I'm always looking to try and connect with new people and possibly find somebody that I could really, you know, have a relationship with that could be promising. And I don't know about having kids or anything, but at least it would be something I wouldn't have to spend all of my time, you know, pining for somebody. Okay. And on that note, we're down to the final 5 minutes of the show. I hope, I think we had a pretty interesting discussion. I hope
that was quick. I didn't even get to talk about my famous father.
Talk about him. Go ahead. The final remaining minutes we can. Go ahead.
He doesn't acknowledge me, but as I said, I'm a background actor. My mother, I come from a long line of background actor. My mother was a background actor on the hit television show. Do you remember Knight Rider?
Yes.
Yeah. So I have to say allegedly because my mother, I've never been accepted or I've never got a DNA test, but my mother says that David Hasselhoff is my father.
Wow.
But I'm a bastard, so.
Okay. Wow. Well, hey, but listen, you got something there. I mean, you're affiliated with a lot of these cool people, and I'm,
you know David Hasselhoff?
I don't know him personally. I know of him.
I was hoping you could call him for me.
I was hoping you could call him for me.
Oh, if I
I'll be happy to call him if you give me his number. I'll call him. I don't have a problem calling anybody.
Oh, I don't have his number. He's blocked.
I don't either. But if I did, I'd call him.
I'm hoping one day I'll be on a set and he'll be there and we'll have a chat. A
real father and son, you know, do-over, basically.
It would be nice, yes.
It would. All right. Well, you did a great job with me. I hope you had fun.
Thank you. I did.
Okay. And what I'd like you to do is to give, you know, like I said at the beginning, give a few shouts out to people that are going to see the show, and then we'll wrap it up with my music the way we began it.
Oh, sure. So first I'd like to give a shout out to the great Dr. Steve.
Dr. Steve.
The great Vinnie Paulino. Bedabbler, Muttering Jay, all the dabblers actually. Carl
Hamburger?
No, I'm not going to shout him out. No.
Okay.
So no shout out for him. Lorenzo Areola, even though he denied me when he was on this show, I'll give him a shout out.
Okay.
Carlos Danger, Shuley, Mike Morris, Bob Levy. But yeah, all the dabblers. Actually, there's one more shout out I'd like to give. 2, actually. First of all, Stuttering John, thank you for unblocking me today. I know you're watching this, so thank you. But also, Chad Zumach, shout out to Chad Zumach.
And Stuttering John, if you ever want to do my show, you're always welcome too.
I'll try. Now that I'm unblocked, I could probably get him for you. So I'll try.
That would be sweet. Okay. Yes. Now there's one more thing I'm going to ask. After we wrap the show up, you stick around and do a picture or two for Facebook, even though you're not on it.
Sure.
My tech guy will take it.
Yeah, I'm not allowed on Facebook anymore.
Okay, but no, well, that's fine. But your potato picture will be on it, and that'll be great if that's okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Hopefully their algorithm doesn't kick me off.
No, they won't. They're not going to care. They love colorful potato pictures with blue headsets. And a pretty cool backdrop as you have behind you. All right, Cardiff Electric, we're about to wrap the show up. Are you ready to snip and snap the way we began it?
Like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, folks. Thanks for watching Topic Time. See you next time. Have a great one. Bye-bye. Hope you enjoyed it. Signing off.